This flat aluminum disc, approximately 8 inches in diameter, features a rotating copper dial and a spiral groove on its face. A curious mechanism is noted. On every rotation of the copper disc, a little bump near the 99 mark advances a tiny gear one step. Some part is likely missing, as the spiral groove doesn't currently seem to have a function. The back has a ring, possibly for hanging. What is this intricate mechanical device? This device is identified as a mechanical calculator, specifically a type of circular adder. Before the advent of electronics, various ingenious mechanical devices were created to aid in arithmetic. This particular type likely worked by using the rotating copper dial for inputting numbers. The spiral groove would have guided a stylus or a pointer, and the interaction of the pointer with the dial's markings would engage gears underneath to perform addition or subtraction. The small bump and tiny gear mechanism described would be the carry function, advancing the next digit, e.g., from 9 to 10, once a full rotation was complete. It's a fascinating example of early analog computing. What is this hook bolted to the wall outside my apartment? It's on the wall next to a sliding door to my patio. It's quite large and about the height of a door, with the chain hanging almost down to the floor. This is for hanging a bike, perhaps. This looks like a wall-mounted bike storage hook. The large, sturdy hook would be for hanging a bicycle vertically by its front or rear wheel, a common space-saving storage solution in apartments. The long chain hanging from it is a bit of a mystery. It could have been used to lock the bike to the hook for added security, or it might be a remnant of a different, unrelated use for this heavy-duty anchor point. This wooden item has a handle at an angle and pointy ends. It's obviously designed to hold something securely, but what? This wooden implement is a carving rack, specifically designed as a roast meat or ham holder. Its purpose is to securely hold a large joint of meat, such as a roast, a ham, or a turkey, while it is being carved. The pointy metal or wooden tines at the ends are pressed into the meat, holding it firmly in place and preventing it from sliding around on the cutting board. This frees up the carver's hands to slice the meat safely and evenly. The angled handle provides a comfortable grip for stabilizing the entire rack during the carving process. This is a hollow metal cylindrical object, about 15 centimeters long, found in the kitchen at work, a prison. It has a hook at one end. It's been there for months, and no one knows what it might be. This is a pour spout for large cans. In a commercial or institutional kitchen, like in a prison, many food items come in very large, Narrowdowser 10-sized metal cans. To pour liquids from these large cans without making a mess, a spout like this one is used. The pointed end is used to puncture the lid of the can, and the spout then provides a smooth channel for pouring. The hook at the other end might be a second, smaller puncture point to create an air vent, allowing for a smooth, non-glugging pour. Found at a yard sale in Oregon, these are two yellow metal rectangles, 1.5 by 3.5 inches, that fit together like a small waffle iron. They are framed by black plastic rounded pieces that look like handles. What are these small patterned heating plates? These items are very likely interchangeable plates for a hairstyling tool, such as a hair straightener that can be converted into a crimper. In the past, some styling irons came with sets of removable metal plates. The user could swap out flat plates for straightening with ridged or patterned plates, like these waffle iron ones, to create crimped or wavy textures in the hair. The yellow color might be a ceramic or Teflon coating on the metal plates, and the black plastic frames would allow for safe handling and fitting into the main heated body of the styling tool. This triangle-shaped wedge is made of wood, covered in a leather-type material, and is padded on the top. It's approximately 10 inches long and 5 inches high. Found while cleaning out a home office, it has a handle, which could mean it was transported for use elsewhere. It shows wear on the bottom, but no scuff marks on top. What is this specialized wedge? This padded wedge looks like a sacro-occipital technic, SOT wedge or block, used in chiropractic, massage therapy, or other forms of bodywork. SOT is a chiropractic technique that involves using these padded wedges, placed strategically under the pelvis of a patient lying on a treatment table. By using the patient's own body weight and gravity, these blocks are intended to help correct spinal and pelvic misalignments, reduce tension in the nervous system, and improve cerebrospinal fluid flow. The handle would make it easy for the practitioner to carry and position the blocks during a treatment session. Found while packing, these metal cups have tabs on the bottom. They are clearly for some kitchen use and are not very heavy. What are these specialized cooking cups for? These metal cups with tabs on the bottom are for making beer can chicken on a grill. Beer can chicken is a popular grilling method where a whole chicken is placed upright over a partially filled can of beer or other beverage. The steam from the liquid inside the can keeps the chicken moist while it cooks. These cups are a more stable and often cleaner alternative to using a standard beverage can. You pour the beer or other liquid into the cup, place the chicken cavity over it, and the tabs on the bottom of the cup are designed to clip onto a corresponding tray or rack that then sits on the grill, holding the chicken securely in its upright position. Found at an estate sale, this pink glass bird has one hole and a rubber stopper or O-ring. It doesn't stand up flat, ruling out its use as a bud vase. The single hole is on the wings. What is this delicate glass bird with a specific fitting? This pink glass bird is identified as a Christmas tree ornament, specifically the type designed to be illuminated from within by a light from a standard string of Christmas tree lights. The hole, fitted with a rubber O-ring or grommet, is sized to allow one of the small bulbs from a Christmas light string to be inserted. The ornament then hangs on the tree, and the internal bulb illuminates the colored glass from the inside, creating a glowing effect. The fact it doesn't stand flat further supports its use as a hanging ornament rather than a standalone figurine. This strange cylinder is permanently stuck to the back of a chair. All the chairs in the room have one just like it, and it can't be removed. Is it some kind of mechanism for stacking the chairs, or perhaps a place to hang a handbag? It seems to be a very deliberate, if mysterious, part of the chair's design. What do you think this feature was used for? What you've found is a vintage chair hat holder. Commenters recall seeing similar chairs in old village halls, where gentlemen would hang their hats on these posts during meetings or events. While it might seem odd today, in an era when most men wore hats as part of their daily attire, having a dedicated spot to place one's hat was a practical and thoughtful design feature. It kept the hat off the floor and out of the way, preventing it from being damaged or soiled. This simple cylinder is a charming nod to the social customs of a bygone era. Discovered in the backyard of a California home purchased in the late 1960s, this massive steel device is about 7 feet long and features 5 heavy cylindrical rollers. The property was once part of an orchard before being redeveloped after World War II. It seems likely this is an old piece of farm equipment that was simply left behind, but what exactly is it? What purpose did these heavy rollers serve in an orchard setting? This large steel device is a cultipacker, a piece of farming equipment traditionally pulled behind a tractor or draft animals. Its primary function is to prepare a seed bed for planting. After plowing or tilling, the soil is often left loose and clumpy. The heavy ridged rollers of the cultipacker are designed to crush clods of dirt, firm up the soil, and create a smooth, even surface. This ensures good seed-to-soil contact, which promotes better germination and helps retain moisture in the ground. Finding one in a former orchard suggests it was used to manage the soil between the fruit trees. Found in a churchyard in Cyprus, this unusual wooden item is suspended by chains. Its shape is not immediately recognizable as a standard piece of church equipment. Is it a decorative element, a part of a larger structure, or something with a specific liturgical function? The use of wood and chains in an outdoor church setting makes it particularly intriguing. Does anyone know what this could be? This wooden object is a semantron, a traditional percussion instrument used in Eastern Orthodox monasteries to summon monks to prayer. Essentially, a wooden bell, a semantron consists of a long, heavy plank of wood suspended by chains. It is struck with wooden mallets to produce a rhythmic, resonant sound that carries throughout the monastery grounds. The use of a semantron often precedes the ringing of metal bells and is considered a more somber and ancient call to worship. This tradition dates back centuries and is still practiced in some monasteries, especially in Greece, Cyprus, and Eastern Europe. This shiny, lightweight, almost metallic, gravel-like substance keeps reappearing on top of a wood-burning stove. No matter how many times it's cleared away, more of it appears. It seems to be falling down the chimney, possibly dislodged by wind, or even birds, at the top of the flue. What is this strange, lightweight, gravel-like material? This shiny, lightweight substance is almost certainly vermiculite. Vermiculite is a natural mineral that, when heated, expands into accordion-like, golden-brown flakes. It is extremely lightweight and fire-resistant, making it an excellent material for insulation. It is very commonly used as a loose-fill insulation in masonry chimneys, especially those with a stainless steel liner. It's simply poured down the chimney to fill the gap between the liner and the original chimney walls. This insulation helps keep the flue gases hot, improving the stove's draft and reducing the buildup of creosote. Small amounts can sometimes get dislodged and fall down onto the stove. Found on the floor after moving into a new place, this tiny piece of plastic is about the size of the tip of a pinky finger. It's white and very light. Its small size and simple shape make it difficult to identify, as it could be a part of almost anything. Do you have those vertical blinds on a sliding glass patio door? The question in the solution is a strong hint. This small white plastic piece is likely a component from a set of vertical blinds, which are often found on sliding glass patio doors or large windows. Specifically, it could be a spacer that links the bottom of the individual blind slats together, forming a chain that helps them stay aligned and move in unison. Alternatively, it could be a small clip or gear from the headrail mechanism that controls the tilting or traversing of the blinds. These tiny plastic parts can become brittle with age and sun exposure, causing them to break and fall off. Spotted multiple times along a country road near Utrecht in the Netherlands, this device spins and has reflective yellow patches on it. Even a local Dutch friend had no idea what it was. Its placement along the roadside and its reflective, spinning nature suggests some kind of warning or deterrent function. What could this be for? While a guess, the most plausible identification is that this is a deer scarer or wildlife warning reflector. These devices are often installed along roads that pass through areas with high populations of deer or other large wildlife. The reflectors are designed to catch the headlights of approaching cars. The light is then reflected off the spinning or multi-sided device at an angle into the woods or fields beside the road. The flashing, unnatural light is intended to startle wildlife near the road's edge, causing them to pause or flee rather than dart out in front of the vehicle, thereby helping to prevent collisions. If you love uncovering strange and mysterious objects, hit like and subscribe. Your support genuinely helps YouTube's algorithm find more curious explorers like you. Thank you for helping us grow. Stay curious. This yellow foam object, shaped somewhat like an eye mask, was found among cricket gear, though its connection to the sport is doubtful. The finder is wondering if it's just trash to be binned or if it has a specific, perhaps unusual purpose. What could this strange foam piece be? The answer is quite unexpected. This is identified as a foam protector used on the heads of adult or collectible dolls during shipping to prevent the eyes or eye sockets from being damaged. The soft foam is cut to fit over the doll's face, cushioning the delicate eye area against impacts and preventing painted surfaces from being scuffed. The yellow or white color is often chosen to match the doll's skin tone, reducing the risk of darker colored foam bleeding dye onto the doll's vinyl or porcelain. The discovery of cricket gear was purely coincidental. It's a piece of specialized packaging from the world of high-end doll collecting. While excavating for a new build in Michigan, about 50 of these hard, circular stones were found. They were discovered in mostly hard, compacted clay soil at a depth of 1 to 3 feet. Each stone has a little circular mark on it, and they are incredibly hard, even chipping other rocks they are thrown against. The land was formerly an old cow farm. What are these unusually hard, man-made stones? These incredibly hard, circular stones are identified as milling balls. They are used in a type of industrial grinding mill called a ball mill or a tumbler. A ball mill is a large, rotating drum filled with hard grinding media, the balls, and the material to be pulverized, such as clay, ore, or rock. As the drum rotates, the balls tumble and cascade, crushing the material into a fine powder. Given the clay soil and the fact that the property was an old farm, these could have been used in a small-scale operation to pulverize clay for making bricks, tiles, or pottery. The circular marks might be from the manufacturing process of the balls themselves. This heavy metal object was found embedded in a tire after being run over in a parking lot. It has the markings 40 and OI. It weighs 0.425 ounces and measures 1.18 inches long by 3 to 4 inch wide. The object's condition is after being driven on for 12 miles, which speaks to its durability. What is this industrial-looking metal part? A lineman identifies this object as the end cap of a 40-amp high-voltage fuse that has blown and been discarded. High-voltage fuses are used in electrical distribution systems, often on utility poles or in transformer cabinets, to protect equipment from overcurrents. When these fuses blow, they are replaced by linemen. The 40 marking would indicate its amperage rating, 40 amps, and the OI is likely part of the manufacturer's name or code, for example, Ohio Insulator or a similar company. The metal end caps of these fuses are robustly constructed and can easily puncture a tire if left on the ground in a parking lot. Observed in a sulfurous hot spring in the south of France near Andorra were these unusual white filaments. The color is what stands out, as one might not expect to see such bright white growths in a mineral-rich spring. The finder speculates it might be an albino alga. What are these strange white thread-like formations? These white filaments are identified as looking a lot like sulfur bacteria, specifically filamentous sulfur oxidizing bacteria. Certain types of microorganisms, known as chemotrophs, thrive in extreme environments like hot, sulfur-rich springs by deriving their energy from chemical reactions rather than from sunlight. These bacteria oxidize hydrogen sulfide, the source of the rotten egg smell in sulfur springs, into elemental sulfur and sulfates. They often grow in massive colonies or mats, forming long, pale, hair-like filaments that can cover rocks and stream beds, creating a striking visual spectacle. So, rather than an alga, it's a fascinating community of extremophile bacteria. Found on a basement wall, this device has a gauge and looks like some sort of regulator. Why would this be installed in a residential basement, and what can be done with it? What you have is a compressed air regulator and gauge. The regulator is used to control and reduce the pressure of compressed air coming from a tank or compressor to a desired stable output pressure for use with pneumatic tools. The gauge shows this output pressure. Its presence in a basement strongly suggests that a previous owner had a workshop in that space and used an air compressor to power tools like nail guns, impact wrenches, paint sprayers, or blow guns. The regulator and gauge would have been part of the permanent airline installation, allowing them to conveniently plug in and use their tools. Found in a car after guests had been riding in it, this object is about 4 inches long, made of plastic, and has some kind of transparent stuff inside with a slight pink hue. What is this common personal item? This item is identified simply and correctly as lip gloss. Lip gloss is a cosmetic product applied to the lips to give them a glossy luster and sometimes to add a subtle color. It typically comes in a small plastic tube, often with a wand applicator that has a soft tip for applying the product. The gloss itself is a viscous, often transparent or tinted liquid, matching the description of transparent stuff inside with a slight pink hue. It's a very common item for people to carry in their purse or pocket and could easily be dropped or left behind in a car. This heavy machined metal component was found on the ground outside. The finder's best guess is that it might be the bolt from a pistol due to its metallic, mechanical appearance. What is this piece of industrial hardware? This metal component is identified as part number 4 from a Ramset Mastershot .22 caliber powder-actuated tool. A powder-actuated tool, sometimes called a Hilti gun or a Ramset gun, uses a small explosive charge, a .22 caliber blank cartridge, to drive hardened nails or fasteners into hard materials like concrete and steel. It is essentially a firearm designed for construction. The component found is a key part of the tool's firing mechanism or piston assembly. It's a robust piece of hardened steel, designed to withstand the forces of the explosive charge. This object is described as a rubbery, stick-on, blue, card holder-looking thing. What is its purpose, and how is it used? What you have is a stick-on phone wallet holder. These popular accessories are made of a flexible material, usually silicone or a similar stretchy fabric, with an adhesive backing. You stick it directly to the back of your smartphone or phone case. The stretchy pocket it creates is designed to hold a few essential cards, like a credit card, ID, or public transit pass, allowing you to carry your phone and cards together without needing a separate wallet. It's a simple, convenient accessory for minimalism on the go. This item consists of two adjustable black strap loops that are attached by two smaller straps. All the straps are slightly elastic. What is this piece of apparel or accessory? This item looks like it could be a simple double-strap leg garter. Garters are worn around the thigh to hold up stockings, but they can also be worn as a purely decorative or fashion accessory, often in alternative, goth, or rave styles. The double-strap design adds a specific aesthetic. The adjustability and elasticity would ensure a snug fit on the wearer's leg. It would be worn to add a detail to an outfit, often peeking out from under a skirt or shorts. Found in a clothes dryer, this unusual silvery metallic ring is very light. It's a solid, continuous circle and features 4 metallic baubles that can slide freely around the ring. The husband thinks it's jewelry, but the finder disagrees, noting its construction isn't typical for a finger ring. Its presence in the dryer is a complete puzzle. What is this strange ring? This object is not jewelry. It appears to be a type of reusable dryer ball, or more accurately, a dryer ring. These are placed in the clothes dryer along with wet laundry. As the dryer tumbles, the ring and its freely moving baubles bounce around among the clothes. This action helps to separate the garments, allowing hot air to circulate more efficiently, which can reduce drying time. The movement also helps to soften fabrics and reduce static cling without the use of chemical-laden dryer sheets. The baubles might also create a gentle sound to indicate the dryer is running. Found in an old, packed box of kitchen utensils, this tool is likely made of aluminum, feels light, and has a squeeze handle. Its most unusual feature is a strange back wall with holes in it. What is this specific type of juicer designed for? This tool is identified as a lime squeezer, a type of handheld citrus juicer. The design is specific. You place a halved lime, cut side down, into the bowl of the squeezer. When you squeeze the handles, the top part presses down, inverting the lime half and forcing the juice out through the holes in the bottom. The strange back wall with holes is the perforated bowl that allows the juice to pass through while retaining the seeds and pulp. Its lightweight aluminum construction and simple lever design are classic features of these efficient and popular kitchen gadgets. These devices are seen at shin level on the walkways of underground train stations in London, and one was also spotted at torso height on a building wall. Each is slightly larger than an inch in diameter and has a glass window with a mirror inside and some isometric etchings. What are these precisely made optical devices? This device is a survey prism, also known as a retroreflector or a corner reflector. It is a passive optical instrument used by surveyors with high-precision instruments like total stations to measure distances and angles. The prism's design, with 3 mutually perpendicular mirrored surfaces, has the unique property of reflecting any light beam that enters it directly back along a path parallel to the incoming beam. Surveyors place these prisms at points of interest and aim their total station at them. The instrument measures the precise distance and angle to the prism, allowing for the creation of accurate maps and construction layouts. They are often permanently installed to monitor the movement or deformation of structures like tunnels, bridges, and buildings over time. Seen from an airplane while landing at the Salt Lake City airport, this incredibly tall spire dominates the landscape. Its immense height makes it a prominent landmark, but its exact identity and purpose aren't immediately obvious from the air. Is it a communications tower, an observation deck, or something else entirely? The scale alone is truly astonishing. What is this colossal structure near Salt Lake City? This massive spire is the Kennecott Garfield smelter stack, a monumental piece of industrial architecture. Standing at an incredible 15 feet tall, it is the tallest man-made structure west of the Mississippi River and the fourth tallest chimney in the world. Located in Magna, Utah, the stack is part of a smelter that processes copper ore from the nearby Bingham Canyon mine, one of the largest open-pit mines in the world. The stack was built to disperse emissions high into the atmosphere, helping to meet air quality standards. Its sheer size makes it a visible landmark for miles around, including from planes approaching the airport. After opening a window for the first time in months, these mysterious yellow orbs were found on the side of the window frame. An attempt to cut one open revealed it was hard and hollow, ruling out bug eggs. They also didn't leave any powder residue, which makes pollen unlikely. What could these small, hard, hollow spheres be? What you've discovered are most likely desiccant beads that have leaked from the insulating spacer inside a double-pane window. Modern double-glazed windows have a sealed space between the two panes of glass, and this space is often filled with an inert gas like argon. Along the inside edge of this sealed unit, a metal or foam spacer contains desiccant material, typically silica gel or clay-based beads, to absorb any residual moisture and prevent condensation or fogging between the panes. When the window's edge seal fails, these tiny beads can escape and collect in the window track. Their presence is a sure sign that the airtight seal has been compromised, meaning the window has lost its insulating value and may begin to fog up. This is a large metal object that appears to have been abandoned in a lot by my house. It looks like it has been slowly taken apart for scrap. This is an industrial boiler. The large cylindrical tank is the main pressure vessel where water is heated to create steam or hot water for heating a large building or for an industrial process. The commenter suggests it might be a Cleaver Brooks brand boiler, a major manufacturer of these units. The doors on the end would provide access to the fire tubes for cleaning and maintenance. It is a very large and heavy piece of industrial HVAC equipment that has been abandoned and is being salvaged for scrap metal. This is an old plug with one horizontal and one vertical prong. This is in the northeast US, in a 120-year-old house. They're near where a TV used to be, but they don't look like a TV antenna. These look like speaker plugs. This is a very old and now obsolete style of polarized connector that was sometimes used for connecting speakers to an amplifier or a radio. The T-slot design ensures that the plug can only be inserted one way, which would be important for maintaining the correct polarity of the speaker connection. Their location near where a TV or a radio console used to be is a perfect fit for this identification. They are a relic of very early audio wiring. Found attached to a workbench in a basement, this device consists of metal cards and bars with notches. Each card is 6 by 5 inches, and the setup is not adjustable. The previous owner was a tinkerer who liked to build his own solutions. What is this vintage electrical component? This device is a selenium full-bridge rectifier, a piece of vintage electronics. A rectifier is an electrical device that converts alternating current, AC, which periodically reverses direction, into direct current, DC, which flows in only one direction. Before silicon diodes became widespread and affordable, selenium rectifiers were commonly used for this purpose in battery chargers, power supplies, and other electronic equipment. They consist of stacks of iron or aluminum plates coated with selenium. The large cards, or fins, are for heat dissipation, as selenium rectifiers were not very efficient and generated a lot of heat. The markings and tabs would indicate the AC input and the positive and negative DC output terminals. This small, swirly, vaguely spherical plastic object was found in a kitchen drawer. What is this common accessory used with a specific type of drink container? This item is a mixer ball for a shaker cup or bottle. These cups, which are very popular for mixing protein shakes, meal replacement powders, and other powdered supplements, often come with one of these mixer balls included. The ball, typically made of stainless steel or plastic, is placed inside the shaker cup, along with the liquid and powder. When the cup is sealed and shaken, the ball bounces around violently inside, acting as a whisk to break up clumps of powder and ensure the drink is mixed smoothly and consistently. It's a simple but highly effective tool for achieving a well-blended shake. Found in a drawer in a shed, these non-magnetic metal objects each weigh about 12 ounces. Their shape suggests a specific function for hanging items. What are these dual-purpose hooks? These are identified as antique coat hooks, specifically the classic dual hook style. This design was extremely common and features a larger lower hook for hanging a heavy coat or jacket, and a smaller upper knob or hook that is perfectly suited for placing a hat. In an era when both coats and hats were standard daily wear, these dual-purpose hooks were a practical and ubiquitous fixture in hallways, entryways, foyers, closets, and public buildings. Their heavy non-magnetic construction suggests they might be made of cast brass, bronze, or a similar durable alloy. This small, hard, plastic heart-shaped piece has a number 1 on it. While the finder knows what it is in terms of its physical description, they don't know its purpose or where it came from. It mysteriously appeared in a craft room, and the owner doesn't have children. What is this numbered plastic heart for? This small heart-shaped piece of plastic with a number on it is identified as a pinback, but not the clasping part. This is likely a decorative element or a keeper from an enamel pin or a collection of trading pins, such as those popular at theme parks, events, or within specific fandoms. The number 1 could indicate it's part of a numbered series or set, perhaps a first edition, or simply pin number 1 in a collection. It's the front decorative part of a lapel pin that would have a post on the back to attach to a clutch or rubber backer. Its appearance in a craft room is fitting, as pin collecting and trading is a popular hobby. Found in a house clearance of an engineer, this device says Taylor Hobson beneath and behind the lens, and tube 112/64 on top. It is clearly a high-precision optical instrument. What is its specific industrial or engineering application? This instrument is an alignment telescope, manufactured by Taylor Hobson, a renowned British company specializing in high-precision metrology and optical instruments. An alignment telescope is used for establishing and checking extremely precise straight lines of sight over long distances, often in industrial settings. They are critical tools for aligning large machinery, such as turbines, shafts, engine beds, roller assemblies in paper mills, or components in aircraft manufacturing jigs. The telescope allows an engineer to align multiple points along a single, perfect axis with incredible accuracy, ensuring components are installed without any deviation that could cause vibration, wear, or catastrophic failure. It's a tool for precision industrial alignment. This silver container, which has since tarnished, has a screw-on lid with holes in it. Inside, there is a removable white cup. The whole item is quite heavy. What is this specific type of serving container, and what was it used for? This container is identified as a muffineer. A muffineer is a type of large shaker or caster, similar to a salt or pepper shaker, but typically larger, used for sprinkling sugar, cinnamon, or other spices. Historically, they were used at the dining table to sprinkle sugar onto muffins, hence the name, oatmeal, toast, waffles, or desserts. The removable inner cup, perhaps made of glass or ceramic, would have held the sugar or spice, protecting the silver from direct contact with potentially corrosive contents. The perforated screw-on lid allows for controlled sprinkling. These were common pieces of silver tableware, especially in the Victorian and Edwardian eras. Found on a beach, this porous, off-white object weighs only 30 grams and feels quite smooth. The material is unfamiliar to the finder. What is this lightweight, smooth, and porous beach find? Based on its shape and porous, smooth texture, this object is suggested to be a pottery fragment, specifically the handle from an old earthenware or stoneware jug. Pottery that has been tumbled in the sea for a long time often becomes very smooth, with all sharp edges worn away, a process similar to the formation of sea glass. The off-white color and porous nature are characteristic of many types of earthenware pottery. The curved shape of a jug handle is also quite distinctive, and it's a part of a vessel that could easily break off and be found separately. This old lamp or torch is an old family heirloom, approximately 80 years old, from the Netherlands. It's about 20 centimeters tall and was possibly used in mines or on boats. Reverse image searches of the lamp and its logos have yielded no results. What is this specific type of vintage industrial lamp? This is identified as an early battery-powered mining lamp, designed to be affixed to a mining cart or train. The logo on the front indicates it was manufactured by Grubenlampenwerke Freeman and Wolf in Zwickau, Germany, a well-known maker of mining lamps. While the company was famous for its earlier flame safety lamps, like petrol lamps, it also transitioned to producing electric models. This battery-powered version would have offered a safer alternative to open flames in gaseous mines. It was likely used in German and nearby Dutch coal mines in the mid-20th century, consistent with its estimated age and the family's origin. If you love uncovering strange and mysterious objects, hit like and subscribe. Your support genuinely helps YouTube's algorithm find more curious explorers like you. Thank you for helping us grow. Stay curious. This white, malleable plastic thing is on the back of a broom. It features a gap in its circular bits, which have plastic prongs. What is the purpose of this seemingly non-functional plastic piece? The best guess for this plastic piece is that it's a shipping retainer or a piece of packaging. Its purpose would be to hold the broom head securely to the handle during shipping and display in a store, making the entire product a slimmer and more manageable package. The circular bits would clip around the handle, and the prongs or other features would engage with the broom head's plastic block. Once the consumer buys the broom, this piece is meant to be removed and discarded, as it serves no purpose in the actual use of the broom. It's a common, if sometimes confusing, piece of product packaging. A small red, monkey-like figure with a brush on top of its head was found under the hood of a car. The figure is also carrying an umbrella and has leaves printed on its ears and forehead. What is this bizarre and whimsical object? This small, whimsical figure is a decorative brush, likely a computer keyboard or desk duster. It appears to be an older, or at least eyeless, version of a known novelty item, possibly featuring a character from Japanese folklore or a similar design aesthetic. These little decorative brushes are designed to be both functional for light dusting of electronics or small spaces, and also to serve as a cute or amusing desk ornament. How it ended up under the hood of a car is a complete mystery. Perhaps it was dropped in the engine bay during a repair or just found a strange place to ride along. This 2-inch wide bubble with 7 uniform holes in the center has been painted over on a kitchen wall just above the dishwasher. What is this vent-like fixture? This fixture is an air gap wall vent, a crucial component of a dishwasher's drainage system, required by plumbing codes in many areas. An air gap is a simple device that prevents dirty water from the sink drain from siphoning back into the clean dishwasher. The dishwasher's drain hose runs up to this air gap fitting, and then another hose runs from the air gap down to the garbage disposal or sink drain. The bubble with holes provides a physical air break in the line, making backflow impossible. While many are mounted on the countertop, some systems use a wall-mounted vent like this one. After a long delay, an update is provided for a mysterious plastic object, about 12 inches long, found hanging from a garage ceiling. It has no markings, but the tubes are made of a flexible, stretchy medical tubing material, and a foam part wraps all around it. The owner's best guess is now that it was used for resistance training. What is it? Based on the updated description of flexible, stretchy tubing and a foam grip, a strong possibility is that this is a climbing grip exercise device, or a similar type of resistance trainer. Climbers use various tools to improve their finger, hand, and forearm strength. This device, with its stretchy tubing, could have been used for pull-up variations, resistance band exercises mimicking climbing movements, or for developing grip strength by squeezing the foam-wrapped section. Its homemade or rudimentary appearance suggests it might be a DIY training tool created by a previous resident who was a climbing enthusiast. This round, shiny wooden jar was found in Taiwan. It's very shallow inside, and the inner surface has a tiny hole. A subtle, herbal, woody scent is noticeable when the lid is opened. What could this aromatic wooden container be? Given its origin in Taiwan and its distinct scent, it's possible this jar is made from cypress wood, specifically a type valued for its natural aromatic properties. Certain woods, like cypress or camphor, are used in Taiwan and other parts of Asia for carvings, decorative boxes, and scent jars precisely because they naturally give off a pleasant and lasting fragrance. The jar itself could be intended simply to be opened periodically to enjoy the scent, or it might be a container for storing other small aromatic items, with the wood itself contributing to the overall fragrance profile. It's a treat for the senses. A metal and concrete structure is seen at a harbor. What is this tall, functional-looking tower used for in a maritime setting? This structure appears to be a radar tower. Radar, radio detection and ranging, is essential for maritime navigation and vessel traffic services, VTS, in busy harbors and coastal areas. A radar scanner, typically housed in a protective radome and mounted at the top of a tall tower like this, rotates continuously, emitting radio waves and detecting their reflections from ships, buoys, and land masses. This information is used to create a real-time map of the harbor, allowing port authorities to monitor and manage ship movements, ensure navigational safety, and coordinate port operations, especially in conditions of poor visibility like fog or heavy rain. A cat was found playing with an open mini Ziploc bag, full of these small, lightweight, circular plastic things. They have a gray center and a black cover. The finder is worried their cat may have eaten some. What are these tiny, numerous objects? These small circular items are identified as hair extension beads, also known as micro-rings or micro-links. They are used in a popular method of applying hair extensions. A small section of the natural hair is threaded through the bead, along with the tip of the hair extension strand. A special pair of pliers is then used to crimp the bead flat, securely clamping the extension to the natural hair. The gray center is likely the metal part, often aluminum, and the black cover might be a silicone lining to protect the hair and provide a better grip. Finding a whole bag of them suggests someone who does hair extensions may have dropped or lost them. A small window was found inside a built-in kitchen cabinet. This feature was seen in 2 different houses with the same layout. In one house, the window was uncovered, allowing air to flow in. In the other, it was covered up and insulated. Did this cabinet window serve a specific function? This small window inside a kitchen cabinet is part of a feature sometimes called a California cooler or a vented pantry. Before the era of widespread, efficient refrigeration, this was a clever architectural design for keeping perishable foods cool. The cabinet would have vents both high and low, often to the outside or a cool crawl space. This setup creates a natural convection loop, drawing cool outside air in through the bottom vent, which then circulates up through the cabinet and exits through the top vent. This constant flow of cooler air turned the cabinet into a passive, unpowered refrigerator, ideal for storing fruits, vegetables, and other perishables. Found at a university, this is a copper tube container with some kind of holder thing inside. What was this protective copper tube designed to carry? This copper tube container is identified as a map canister or a document tube. These are designed to protect rolled-up documents such as maps, blueprints, architectural drawings, or important papers from being creased, torn, or damaged by moisture. Copper is a durable and corrosion-resistant material, making it suitable for a protective case. The holder thing inside could be part of a mechanism to help secure the document or to make it easier to retrieve from the tube. Finding one at a university is fitting, as departments like geography, architecture, or engineering would have regularly used large format paper documents. This giant arrowhead or axe-like object was found in a western New York home built in the 1820s. Its size and material raised the question, is it a genuine historical artifact that belongs in a museum? This object is identified as a stone axe head. This is a prehistoric tool, likely created by Native American inhabitants of the western New York region long before the house was built in the 1820s. These axe heads were crafted by knapping or grinding hard stones like granite or flint into the desired shape. A groove, called a hafting groove, was often carved around the middle to facilitate attaching it securely to a wooden handle with rawhide lashings. Finding such an artifact on one's property is not uncommon in many parts of North America. While many examples exist, a particularly well-preserved or unusual one could certainly be of interest to a local museum or archaeological society. Found in a thrift store, this item is made of wood and sheet metal. What was this large utilitarian scoop designed for? This is a coal scoop, specifically a large one that would have been used in a mid-sized office building, school, or other institution that was heated with a coal-fired boiler. In such a heating system, coal would typically be delivered by truck and dumped down a coal chute into a storage bin located next to the boiler's fire door. This large, sturdy scoop would have been used by the building's custodian or engineer to shovel coal from the bin into the boiler's firebox. The commenter also suggests it could have been used to help clogged coal flow down the chute. Its robust construction is suited for handling heavy, abrasive coal. A bottle of something was found buried in a friend's backyard. The white substance inside has dried to the walls of the bottle, but there's still a clearish, murky liquid remaining at the bottom. What kind of bottle and contents could this be? This small glass bottle with dried, pigmented residue on the walls and some remaining liquid medium looks very close to a vintage Testors model paint bottle. Testors is a very well-known brand that has been producing enamel paints for scale models, cars, airplanes, etc. for many decades. Their small glass bottles with metal screw-on caps are iconic. Over time, if a bottle is left unused, the pigments can settle and dry onto the sides, while the solvent or binder, the clearish liquid, separates. Finding one buried in a backyard suggests a long-lost hobbyist's stash. Found near the trash of a flower shop that went out of business, this vase-like object is about a foot tall and ceramic-like. It's green and features holes in its sides and a larger hole in the bottom. It sits on a saucer and is open at the top. What is this unusually perforated pot for? This is an orchid planter or orchid pot. The many holes in the sides and bottom are a key design feature specific to the needs of many types of orchids. In their native habitats, most orchids are epiphytes, meaning they grow on other plants, like tree bark, rather than in soil. Their roots require excellent air circulation and drainage to stay healthy and avoid rot. The holes in these specialized pots are designed to provide that crucial airflow to the roots and allow water to drain away completely after watering. Finding one outside a former flower shop makes perfect sense. This heavy metal object, with the part number 760783, almost caused a serious accident when a lawnmower hit it. It's about the size of a palm. What is this robust automotive component? This object is identified as a distributor ignition module mount, specifically part number 760783. This particular mount was commonly found in Ford vehicles from the 1980s and early 1990s. The ignition module is a critical electronic component that controls the firing of the ignition coil. On these older Ford distributors, the module was mounted externally on the distributor housing. This metal piece served as both the physical mount and, importantly, as a heat sink to draw heat away from the electronics of the ignition module, helping to prevent it from overheating and failing. It's a very specific part from a particular era of automotive technology. This wooden baton features regularly spaced holes, a central hole, and a flared end. What is this piece of industrial equipment, likely related to textiles? According to Google Images, this wooden object is a textile bobbin or spool, specifically a type used in industrial spinning or weaving machinery. In textile manufacturing, yarn or thread is wound onto various types of bobbins for processing. This particular design, with its multiple holes and specific shape, would have been engineered to fit onto a specific type of spinning frame, loom shuttle, or winding machine. The holes might have been for driving pins, sensors, or simply to reduce weight. It's a remnant from the era of large-scale mechanical textile production. This is a metal post with a domed cap, about 1.5 to 2 feet tall, with wires going to and from it. It's in the corner of a residential property and looks pretty old. It seems to be where property lines meet. This is a cross-connect for telephone wiring, also known as a beehive pedestal. This is a type of junction box used by the telephone company. The main multi-pair telephone cable for the neighborhood would run to this pedestal. Inside, the individual wire pairs for each house would be cross-connected to the main cable. Its location at the corner of property lines is very common, as it allows a single pedestal to serve several adjacent homes. It is a standard piece of telecommunications infrastructure. What is this equipment in my yard? I'm not home to ask the workers directly. This looks like an electronic theodolite, or more likely, a modern robotic total station used for land surveying. Surveyors use these high-precision optical instruments to measure horizontal and vertical angles and distances. This data is used to create property surveys, to map topography, or to lay out the locations for new construction. The workers in your yard are likely conducting a survey for a property line, a new fence, a construction project, or a utility installation. Found in a deceased relative's apartment in Germany, this small table or bench is about the size of a night table and has an insert of some kind. What is its specific, old-fashioned purpose? This piece of furniture is identified as an antique wash table or washstand. Before the common availability of indoor plumbing and dedicated bathrooms with running water, personal washing was done using a basin and pitcher. A wash table like this was a dedicated piece of furniture for that purpose. The insert would likely have been a ceramic or enamel basin, which would be filled with water from a large jug or pitcher. People would use this setup with a washcloth to wash themselves. It's a charming piece of furniture that harkens back to a time before modern conveniences. If you love uncovering strange and mysterious objects, hit like and subscribe. Your support genuinely helps YouTube's algorithm find more curious explorers like you. Thank you for helping us grow. Stay curious. This blue camo, polyester, cover is about 3 feet tall and came from a $5 mystery grab bag. What is this large, stretchy cover designed for? This item is a luggage cover. These stretchy, durable fabric covers are designed to be pulled over a standard suitcase during travel. They serve several purposes. They protect the luggage from scuffs, scratches, and minor damage during handling by baggage systems. They can provide a small measure of security, making it harder for someone to quickly open the suitcase. And most commonly, their distinctive patterns, like this blue camo, make the luggage instantly recognizable on a crowded baggage claim carousel, preventing mix-ups and making retrieval easier and faster. Found in a charity shop among other vintage medical items, this stainless steel tool has a ribbed end about the size of a thumb. The finder guesses its purpose might be for looking inside the rectum, but acknowledges their lack of expertise. What is this specific medical instrument? This vintage stainless steel tool is identified as an old-school mouth gag used in dentistry. A mouth gag, or mouth prop, is a device used to keep a patient's mouth open during dental procedures, especially when the patient is sedated, uncooperative, or for long procedures where muscle fatigue would cause the mouth to close. The ribbed or grooved surfaces, as described, are designed to catch and gently retract the lips and cheeks, providing the dentist with a clear and unobstructed view of the oral cavity. While modern versions are often made of rubber or silicone, older ones were robustly made from stainless steel for durability and easy sterilization. This clay-like puck was found sitting loose on the back ledge of the engine compartment of a brand new Honda CR-V hybrid. Its official purpose is a mystery. Is it a functional part of the engine, or perhaps something used by mechanics during the new car inspection process that was left behind? The best guess for this clay puck is that it was a temporary plug for one of the radiator hose connections used during the manufacturing or assembly process. Before the engine is fully assembled and the radiator hoses are connected, openings like the radiator inlet, outlet, or ports on the engine block need to be sealed to keep debris, dust, or moisture out of the sensitive cooling system components. These temporary plugs, often made of plastic, rubber, or a clay-like material, serve this purpose. It was likely overlooked and not removed before the final hose was installed and then dislodged by vibration, ending up on the engine ledge. Found in a shared laundry machine, these are clear and yellow plastic tubes, about 1.5 inches long with no writing on them. Their origin and purpose are a complete mystery. What could these small, two-toned plastic tubes be? These clear and yellow plastic tubes are identified as tar stopper disposable cigarette filters. These are small, plastic mouthpieces designed to be fitted onto the end of a regular cigarette. Inside the clear plastic body, there is often a yellow or colored internal filter mechanism. The advertised purpose of these filters is to trap a portion of the tar and nicotine from the cigarette smoke before it is inhaled, with the clear body allowing the user to visually see the dark tar accumulating. They are sold as a harm reduction product, though their effectiveness is debated. Finding them in a laundry machine means they were likely left in a pocket. This metal trinket is shaped like a squid and has a hooked form. What is this whimsical, nautical-themed object designed to be used for? This metal squid trinket is identified as a decorative hanger. Based on similar items, it is likely an S-shaped hook designed for hanging various items, with the squid design adding a decorative, nautical flair. These types of hooks can be used in kitchens for hanging utensils or dish towels, in bathrooms for towels or robes, or in an entryway for keys or small bags. The squid's tentacles cleverly form the hooks themselves, blending functionality with a unique, artistic style. It's a practical piece of hardware with a playful design. Seen on a road in Takayama, Japan, this is a spinning red LED light. What is its specific purpose in the Japanese road system? This spinning red LED light is a type of active road safety light or road stud, known in Japanese as Li Da Dao Lu Pieng, Li Di Dorobyo, or Zifa Guangpieng, Jihakobyo, meaning self-illuminating stud. These are often solar-powered and embedded in the road surface, or placed on posts at the side of the road. Their purpose is to provide enhanced awareness for drivers, especially at night or in poor weather conditions, that they are approaching an intersection, a sharp curve, a crosswalk, or another potential hazard. The spinning or flashing motion is designed to be much more eye-catching than a static reflector, significantly increasing driver vigilance. These wooden sticks, topped with some sort of foam, are found positioned between fields and a forest. The commenter asks if the foam gives off an intense smell. What is the likely purpose of these foam-topped sticks in an agricultural or rural setting? These foam-topped sticks are a method for dispensing wild animal repellent. In agricultural areas, damage to crops from wild animals like wild boar, deer, or rabbits can be a significant problem. To deter these animals, farmers or landowners sometimes place stakes around the perimeter of a field. A special repellent foam, often containing strong-smelling substances that animals find unpleasant, like butyric acid, which has a very pungent odor, or predator scents, is then sprayed onto the tops of these stakes. The foam adheres to the stick and slowly releases the deterrent scent over time, creating an olfactory barrier that encourages wildlife to stay away from the protected crops. This tall, old metal post is located in a residential area where there is nothing else like it. It's not a lamp post, as the streetlights are of a different type. It's not a telegraph pole, as those are made of wood and have cables. There are no nearby industrial buildings that might need to vent gases. What is this anachronistic cast iron tube? This tall, ornate metal post is identified as a sewer vent pipe, sometimes called a stink pipe. In older municipal sewer systems from the Victorian and early 20th century, these tall vent pipes were installed to safely ventilate sewer gases, like methane and hydrogen sulfide, high up into the atmosphere. This prevented the buildup of explosive or noxious gases within the sewer lines and also kept unpleasant odors from escaping at street level. Many of these were made from cast iron and were often designed to be decorative, resembling ornate lampposts, to blend in with the urban architecture of the time. While most modern sewer systems are vented differently, some of these historical stink pipes remain as relics of past civil engineering. Seen on what is thought to be the main municipal building in Enna, Sicily, these metal coverings are over the windows. They have a half-cylinder shape on the bottom and are flat on the upper half. They could be a screen, but the cylindrical shape is puzzling. What are these distinctive window fixtures? This type of window covering is identified as an Italian wrought iron version of a zaffardera, a feature common in Catalan architecture. They are a type of decorative and functional window guard or grille. The half-cylinder or bowed shape at the bottom allows residents to lean out of the window for a better view of the street below, while still being protected by the grille. It provides security and allows for airflow when the window is open, without being a flat, confining barrier. They are a characteristic feature of Mediterranean architecture, blending security, ventilation, and a unique aesthetic that allows for interaction with the street scene. This foot pedal was seen on the floor outside an interior door in a part of an abbey that had been a residence. The guess is that it was some type of pedal for servants to open a door while carrying things. What is this mechanism? The guess is very likely correct. This foot pedal is almost certainly part of a mechanism for opening a swing door, particularly in a service area of a large house or an institution like an abbey. In places with high traffic, for staff who were often carrying trays, laundry, or other items with both hands, these foot-operated door openers were a practical innovation. Pressing the pedal would likely operate a mechanical linkage to unlatch and push the swing door open, allowing a person with full hands to pass through easily without having to set their items down. It's a clever piece of historical hardware designed to improve efficiency in a service environment. Found on the floor of a bar or restaurant, this 3-inch metal object has a spring mechanism. The finder thinks it might be a hair clip or part of a pen. What is this common wallet component? This spring-loaded metal object is identified as a part of a bifold money clip bar wallet. Many minimalist bifold wallets, instead of having a full-length bill compartment, use a hinged spring-loaded metal bar or clip in the center fold. To secure cash, you lift the spring-loaded bar, place your folded bills underneath, and then snap the bar back down. The spring tension holds the bills firmly in place. These can sometimes break or become detached from the wallet's leather or fabric casing, especially with age and use. An 8.25-inch square vinyl pocket thing was given to the finder's wife as a gift. What is this specific type of tech accessory? This item is identified as a travel mouse pad that includes an integrated pocket for storing your mouse. The square vinyl surface provides a smooth and consistent tracking area for a computer mouse, which is especially useful when working on the go, where desk surfaces might be uneven or unsuitable. The pocket is a convenient feature for travel, allowing you to store the mouse and perhaps its cable or a small USB receiver, together with the mouse pad, keeping your tech accessories organized and protected within your bag. It's a compact and practical solution for mobile computing. Tiny, croton-like squares were found scattered outside on a high-traffic sidewalk. They don't seem like rat poison, but also not like typical human food. The finder is concerned about potential danger to neighborhood dogs or wildlife. What are these mystery squares? These small, crouton-like squares are identified as looking like freeze-dried dog or cat treats. Freeze-dried treats, often made from single ingredients like liver, chicken, or salmon, are very popular for pets. The freeze-drying process removes moisture while retaining nutrients, resulting in a very lightweight, porous, and often cube or square-shaped treat. Someone may have accidentally dropped some while walking their dog. While likely harmless if they are indeed pet treats, the advice to clean them up is prudent, as there's no way to be 100% certain of their origin. This old-looking, wall-mounted box, with what looks like a switch and a circular hole, was found in a 1970s-built home in the Midlands, UK. It's located above the skirting board near a chimney. What is this vintage utility connection? This wall-mounted box is an old socket used to connect a gas appliance. The commenter recalls having one as a kid, which they used to plug into a gas poker. A gas poker was a metal tube with holes in the end, connected by a flexible hose to a socket. It was inserted amongst the coals in a fireplace, and the burning gas would quickly and easily ignite the solid fuel. These bayonet-style gas sockets were common in the UK for this purpose, and sometimes for connecting gas heaters before central heating became standard. It's a relic of an older method of home heating. Found in several pieces in the earth of a garden, this swirly, lumpy thing is about the size of a rugby ball. It looks woody but doesn't feel like normal wood. It's light for its size and feels almost like papier-mâché, sounding hollow when tapped. It's covered in lumps and swirls. The finder questions if it's even a plant. What is this unusual growth? Despite its unusual feel, this object is identified as a burl from a dead tree. A burl is a distinctive, rounded, and often lumpy outgrowth on a tree's trunk or branch, characterized by highly irregular and swirled grain patterns inside. They are formed from a mass of dormant buds or in response to stress, injury, or infection. After a tree dies and the main trunk and branches decay, the denser, more resilient burl wood can sometimes survive for much longer. Its time in the soil could cause it to become lighter and more porous, explaining the papier-mâché feel and hollow sound, as softer parts of the wood may have decayed away, leaving the harder, swirled structure. Found in the attic of a house built in 1961, this device has a wood base with a metal fixture and what looks like a three-prong outlet on it. What is this vintage piece of electronic test equipment? A ham radio operator of 60 years identifies this device as a Lecher wire resonator. Lecher wires are a piece of equipment used for measuring the wavelength, and thus the frequency, of radio waves, particularly at VHF and UHF frequencies. The device consists of two parallel wires or rods with a shorting bar that can be slid along their length. By finding the points along the wires where standing waves are at a maximum or minimum, one can physically measure the wavelength. Though they fell out of favor by the 1950s with the advent of cheaper SWR meters and other test equipment, budget-minded ham radio enthusiasts and experimenters still used them into the 1960s for antenna tuning and frequency measurement. Found in the Ardennes forest on the Belgium-Germany border, this object consists of a small parachute and a larger parachute attached to a burned canister with white residue. Identification markings are printed on both chutes. What is this piece of military hardware? This assembly is identified as the remains of an illumination grenade or flare. These are pyrotechnic devices, often fired from a grenade launcher, mortar, or artillery, designed to illuminate an area at night. After being launched to a certain altitude, a small drogue parachute, the little parachute, deploys to stabilize the projectile and pull the main components out of the canister. Then, the larger parachute deploys, suspending a pyrotechnic candle, the burned canister. This candle burns with an intense, bright light, slowly descending under the parachute and lighting up the battlefield or a designated area for several minutes. The white residue would be the remnants of the burned pyrotechnic compound, likely containing magnesium. Received in a corporate swag bag, this item's intended use is a puzzle. It's a solid, relatively heavy shape, about 7 OZ, with a faux marble pattern, measuring 5 inches wide by 1.5 inches tall. It features 4 slots of decreasing width along the top, with slightly larger rounded cavities at the bottom of each slot. Google image search mistakenly thinks it's a rifle rack. What is this desktop object actually for? This corporate swag item is a desktop cable sorter or cable organizer. The 4 slots of decreasing width are designed to hold and organize various charging and data cables, like USB-C, Lightning, micro USB, etc., when they are not in use. The user would slide their cable into the appropriate slot, preventing it from falling off the desk or getting tangled with other cords. The weight of the object ensures it stays in place, and the faux marble finish makes it a stylish desk accessory. It's a practical item for keeping a modern workspace tidy. This dense, perfectly balanced spherical object has been in the finder's possession for quite a few years, though its exact origin is only vaguely recalled. It is described as being very heavy for its size and very satisfying to hold. A key characteristic is its excellent balance. When placed on the tip of a pencil, utilizing an indentation inside its bore, it will spin very smoothly for a considerable time. The finder has meticulously measured its density via water displacement, yielding a volume of 22.7 millibars and a mass of 122.5 G, resulting in an approximate density of 5,400 kg/m3. There are inscriptions on the inside of the bore, which have been photographed and transcribed. Notably, the bore is not cylindrical, but tapers inward away from the opening. What is this precisely engineered, heavy, spherical object? This highly engineered, dense, and perfectly balanced spherical object is identified as an oxinium femoral head, which is a component of a hip replacement prosthesis. Oxinium is a proprietary oxidized zirconium alloyed with niobium, then oxidized, developed by Smith & Nephew, a medical technology company. This material is used for the ball part of a ball and socket hip joint replacement because it offers very low friction, high wear resistance, and good biocompatibility. The spherical shape, precision balance for smooth articulation, the internal tapered bore for attachment to the femoral stem of the prosthesis, and the density, zirconium alloys are quite dense, all perfectly match the characteristics of an artificial femoral head. The inscriptions inside the bore would likely include manufacturer information, size, and lot numbers for traceability. It's a sophisticated piece of medical engineering designed to restore mobility and alleviate pain in patients with severe hip arthritis or injury. This heavy iron twisting mechanism weighs about 10 pounds and is rusty, indicating its age. It has a base of about 12 by 8 inches, excluding the handle. A handle, when turned, causes all 3 spindles on the device to rotate in the same direction. What could this multi-spindle hand-cranked iron machine have been used for? This heavy iron mechanism is identified as being part of a rope-making machine, specifically for twisting multiple strands together to form a rope. Traditional rope making involves taking several individual strands of fiber, like hemp, sisal, or cotton, and twisting them together in one direction, while simultaneously twisting the group of strands in the opposite direction to form a stable, strong rope. This hand-cranked device, with its 3 synchronized rotating spindles, would be used to hold and twist 3 individual strands. As the handle is turned, each spindle imparts a twist to its strand, and then these 3 twisted strands would be guided together and allowed to twist around each other to form the final 3-ply rope. It's a fundamental tool from the craft of rope making. This fabric item measures about 12 by 6 inches and has a flap of calico fabric on top that is only sewn on one side. It resembles a small pillowcase but has no opening for inserting a pillow. It is tagged Lord and Taylor Young People's Floor, indicating it's a child-related item from a department store. What is this specific fabric accessory? This fabric item is identified as an antique high chair cover or liner. In the past, wooden high chairs were common, and these fabric covers provided padding for comfort and also helped to keep the high chair cleaner and easier to maintain. The main part of the fabric would cover the seat and back of the high chair. The description, the print fabric, would go up the back, and the notches at the corners are for the side rails, perfectly matches how such a cover would be designed to fit around the structure of a traditional high chair with openings or shaping to accommodate armrests or tray supports. The Lord and Taylor Young People's Floor tag confirms its origin as a children's item from a well-known department store. These objects have sharp bits, making the finder think they might be some kind of stake. However, they also feature a hole, apparently for screwing something into or onto them. What are these spiky, mountable metal pieces? These sharp, pointed metal pieces with a screw hole are identified as spit forks, specifically the kind used on a motorized rotisserie, spit for cooking chicken, roasts, or other large pieces of meat. A rotisserie involves a long metal rod, the spit, that rotates slowly over a heat source, like a grill or in an oven. These forks, which usually come in pairs, slide onto the spit. The sharp prongs, the sharp bits, are pushed firmly into the ends of the meat to secure it to the spit, preventing it from slipping or rotating unevenly as the spit turns. The hole with a thumb screw, or a similar locking mechanism, is then used to tighten the fork onto the spit rod itself, locking it in position. If you love uncovering strange and mysterious objects, hit like and subscribe. Your support genuinely helps YouTube's algorithm find more curious explorers like you. Thank you for helping us grow. Stay curious. Observed at an apartment construction site, these are described as giant concrete screws. What are these large helical concrete structures being used for in the building process? These giant concrete screws are identified as screw piles, also known as helical piles or screw anchors. A screw pile is a type of deep foundation element that is literally screwed into the ground, much like a wood screw is driven into wood. It consists of a central steel shaft with one or more helical, screw-like plates welded to it. In this case, it seems the steel shaft might be encased in or topped with concrete, or they are prefabricated concrete piles with a helical design. They are installed using hydraulic rotary equipment that twists them into the soil to the desired depth or load-bearing capacity. Screw piles are used to support structures in difficult soil conditions, provide tension resistance, or where minimal site disturbance is required. They are an efficient alternative to traditional driven piles or poured concrete foundations. This gray rubber tack was found on a bedroom floor. The finder vacuums fairly regularly and assumes it got there recently. It feels rubbery and has the number 50 inscribed at its base. What is this small, numbered rubber piece? This small gray rubber object with an inscribed number looks like a rubber footpad. These are commonly found on the bottom of small appliances, electronic devices, furniture legs, or various household items to prevent them from slipping, scratching surfaces, or to dampen vibrations. The number 50 could be a mold number, a size indicator, or relate to the durometer, hardness, of the rubber. It likely became detached from some item in the bedroom, such as a lamp, an alarm clock, a small piece of furniture, or an electronic device. This wooden board with slots was hanging in a bedroom of a newly moved-into house. The finder speculates it might be for tea towels or something similar. What is this slotted wooden wall-mounted item actually for? This wooden board with slots is identified as a mail holder or wall organizer. These were, and still are, common household items, often mounted in kitchens, entryways, or home offices. The slots are designed for sorting and holding incoming or outgoing mail, letters, bills, notes, or other small papers. The commenter mentions their grandma still has and uses one in her kitchen, highlighting their traditional and enduring practicality for keeping correspondence organized and easily accessible. Found in the kitchen of a pull-behind camper, this small fixture has "King" written on it and features a tiny rectangle hole in the center. It is situated above an electrical outlet. The salesperson didn't mention it. What is this branded port? This fixture is identified as being for a cable to charge an internet receiver made by King, a company known for RV, recreational vehicle antennas, satellite systems, and connectivity solutions. The King branding is the key clue. The tiny rectangular hole in the center is likely a proprietary charging port or data connection port specifically for a King brand internet receiver, Wi-Fi extender, or cellular booster designed for use in RVs. Its placement above an outlet suggests it would be powered or charged from that outlet. These gray, powdery, lightweight bricks arrived unexpectedly in a Temu package from China, along with other purchased items. They are very light, crumble easily into a fine dust, and measure about 3 inches on their longest side. Nobody knows what these are. What are these crumbly, lightweight bricks? These gray, powdery, lightweight bricks are identified as pumice stones. Pumice is a type of volcanic rock that is very porous, lightweight, and abrasive due to its rapid cooling from a frothy, gas-rich lava. It's commonly used for a variety of purposes, including as an exfoliant for skin, to remove dead skin cells, especially from feet and elbows, for cleaning tough grime from surfaces, like toilet bowls or grill grates, or in gardening as a soil amendment to improve drainage and aeration. Their crumbly nature and light weight are characteristic. They might have been included in the Temu package as a packing material, though unusual, or as a very inexpensive bonus item. These many weird, gear-like thingies are ferrous, magnetic. They have no key slots and are strung on a wire, possibly for storage or transport. The finder humorously imagines them as post-apocalyptic money or disc shooter ammo. What are these metallic, gear-like discs in reality? These magnetic, gear-like discs are identified as flat tip cutters, or teeth, for a scarifier concrete grinder. A concrete scarifier, also known as a concrete planer or milling machine, is a heavy-duty piece of equipment used to remove layers of concrete, level uneven surfaces, clean concrete, or create texture for improved slip resistance or bonding. The machine uses a rotating drum fitted with multiple hardened steel or carbide cutters, like these, which aggressively chip and abrade the concrete surface. These flat-tip cutters are replaceable wear parts that are arranged on the drum. Being strung on a wire is a common way to package or store sets of these cutters. Found on the side of the road in a residential neighborhood, this object has two wheels and a stand. It's made of metal, possibly aluminum, and is painted orange. What is this wheeled metal frame? This object looks like the frame or chassis of one of those large, powerful fans designed for workshops, garages, or industrial settings, but with the motor, fan blades, and protective covers, grills, missing or broken off for some reason. These fans are often mounted on a wheeled frame with a stand or tilting mechanism to make them portable and allow for directional airflow. The orange paint is a common color for tools and workshop equipment. It's likely the functional components were salvaged or failed, and the remaining frame was discarded. This weird blue substance appeared on a front indoor door lock. It wasn't there the night before when the locks were checked. A second slide shows it after being wiped with a paper towel. What could this suddenly appearing blue goo be? This blue substance is identified as likely being blue silicone grease. Silicone grease is a waterproof lubricant that is stable over a wide range of temperatures and is often used for lubricating and protecting metal, plastic, and rubber parts. Some formulations are dyed blue for identification or specific applications. If the door lock mechanism was recently lubricated with such grease, or if it contains factory-applied grease, a sudden increase in temperature, e.g., direct sunlight on the door or a nearby heat source, could cause the grease to become less viscous and flow or weep out from the lock mechanism's crevices or around the lever, leading to its unexpected appearance. Large metal things with 6 limbs are seen on the back of a truck near Gary, Indiana. The pictures are blurry due to being taken while in motion. What are these large, complex industrial components? These large metal objects with multiple limbs, likely insulator bushings or connection points, are identified as large sulfur hexafluoride, SF6, circuit breakers manufactured by Mitsubishi. SF6 circuit breakers are high-voltage electrical circuit breakers used in power transmission and distribution substations. Sulfur hexafluoride gas is an excellent dielectric, insulator, and arc-quenching medium, allowing these breakers to interrupt very high fault currents safely and efficiently. Their large size and complex structure, with multiple porcelain or composite insulator bushings, are characteristic of high-voltage switchgear designed for outdoor substation environments. Mitsubishi Electric is a major manufacturer of such heavy electrical equipment. This white ceramic basin was found in a school chemistry lab cupboard. It's around 8 inches long and 1 inch wide, with a widened part at one end, 2 inches wide, that has a little platform with a hole in it. No current technicians or teachers can identify it, and it must have been in the department for at least 30 years. What is this specific piece of vintage labware? This white ceramic basin is suggested to be a sterilizer, likely a misspelling of sterilizer, for medical or laboratory instruments. The long, narrow trough shape would be suitable for immersing small instruments, like scalpels, forceps, needles, or glass slides, in a sterilizing solution, e.g., alcohol or disinfectant, or for heat sterilization if the ceramic is suitably refractory. The widened end with a platform and hole might be for draining, holding a specific tool, or part of a handling mechanism. The side flanges could allow the tray or its contents to be handled with forceps or tongs, especially if hot after heat sterilization. It's a piece of older laboratory apparatus for maintaining sterile conditions for small instruments. Found at an op shop thrift store in the kitchenware section, this small yellow plastic thing has 3 spherical cavities and a clip-on lid. It has no writing on it and feels like typical kitchen plastic. An animal face is molded into each hemisphere of the lid. What is this food preparation gadget? This small yellow plastic item with spherical cavities and an animal-faced lid is identified as a rice ball maker, specifically one designed for making fun, shaped rice balls for kids' meals or bento boxes. Cooked rice, often seasoned sushi rice, is pressed into the spherical molds. When the lid is clipped on and pressed, it compacts the rice into perfectly round balls. The animal faces on the lid would imprint a cute design onto the top of each rice ball, making them more appealing to children. These are common and inexpensive kitchen gadgets, especially popular in Japanese and other Asian cuisines where rice is a staple. This carved wooden box contains small metal tools. What are these sharp, specialized metal implements kept in an ornate box? These small, sharp metal tools, housed in a carved wooden box, are identified as Indonesian cockfighting spurs. Cockfighting, though illegal in many countries, is a traditional blood sport in some cultures, including parts of Indonesia. In these fights, sharp metal spurs, called gaffs or tajis, are attached to the natural spurs or legs of the gamecocks. These artificial spurs are designed to inflict maximum damage on the opposing bird, making the fights quicker and more lethal. The spurs themselves are often finely crafted and can be quite ornate, sometimes kept in decorative boxes like this one. Nan's Bowley cauldron was found in the cellar. It has a stamp, Empire Plate EPNS. Online searches have been unhelpful. What is this silver-plated serving vessel? This Bowley cauldron is identified as a chafing dish, likely missing its glass liner, lid, and possibly its stand with a burner. Empire Plate EPNS indicates it's made by Empire Plate and is electroplated nickel-silver, a base metal, usually nickel-silver, coated with a thin layer of pure silver. Chafing dishes are used to keep food warm at the table, especially for buffet-style serving. They typically consist of an outer pan that holds hot water, an inner food pan, often a removable glass or metal liner, a lid, and a stand with a small burner, using chafing fuel or an alcohol lamp, underneath to keep the water hot. This red plastic insert is a solid, loose, removable piece found in the gas tank opening of a push mower. The section that goes down into the tank can be oriented or turned in any position. The finder knows where it goes, but can't figure out its purpose, or if it's necessary. What is this plastic insert? This red plastic insert is believed to be a simple visual gas level indicator for the push mower. These types of rudimentary indicators, often brightly colored for visibility, float on top of the gasoline in the tank. As the fuel level drops, the indicator also drops, and its position relative to the top of the tank opening or markings on the insert itself gives the user a rough idea of how much fuel is remaining. It's not a precise gauge, but provides a quick visual check. While not strictly necessary for the mower to run, it's a helpful convenience feature. These squishy brown balls were found along the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland. They are fairly common in the area, uniform in size, and the finder suspects they might be man-made. What are these unusual spherical objects? These squishy brown balls are identified as being similar to specialized cleaning balls used in some industrial settings, including potentially nuclear power plants, for cleaning out certain non-radioactive pipes. These balls, often made of sponge rubber or a similar compressible material, are forced through pipes under pressure to scrub the internal surfaces and remove scale, sediment, or biofouling. While they are meant to be captured at the output end of the system, accidental releases can occur. The commenter mentions a past incident where several million such balls were released into the Great Lakes, suggesting this type of object can indeed end up in waterways. Their uniform size and man-made feel support this identification. This P-shaped metal pole is a long-standing fixture in a parking lot. No one can remember ever seeing it used for anything. What was this unusually shaped pole originally intended for? This P-shaped metal pole is the support pole for a basketball hoop, with the hoop and backboard now missing. The distinctive P-shape or gooseneck design is very common for outdoor basketball poles. This shape allows the backboard and hoop to be offset from the pole itself, positioning the hoop out over the playing surface, the pavement of the parking lot in this case, while keeping the main support pole safely out of the direct play area, reducing the risk of players colliding with it. The top of the P is where the backboard would have been mounted. On the side of a brick building in St. Louis, a star-shaped metal object, an anchor plate for the brick wall, is noted. Next to it is a bell-shaped metal object that none of the other houses on the block have. What is this accompanying bell-shaped fixture? The bell-shaped object is identified as a metal insulator bracket, part of an old electrical service entrance. The star-shaped anchor plate is indeed a structural tie for the brick wall. The bracket next to it is designed to hold 3 electrical insulators, typically made of glass or porcelain. though in this picture, only 2 insulators appear to be present. These insulators allow the overhead power lines coming from the utility pole to be securely attached to the house without the electrical current grounding out through the building structure. The bracket bears the mechanical strain of the service drop wires. The commenter notes that the porcelain insulators are of a size appropriate for a residential power service. This small, very light gold, bullet-shaped object has been appearing mysteriously. One was first seen on a windowsill in an apartment building's common area. Later, one was found in the finder's own apartment and another in their car cup holder. What could these small, recurring items be? This small, light gold, bullet-shaped object looks like the decorative end cap or temple tip from a pair of sunglasses or eyeglasses. Many eyewear frames, especially metal ones or those with thin temple arms, have small plastic or metal caps that fit over the very end of the arm, the part that rests over the ear. These provide a more comfortable and finished feel. They can sometimes become loose and fall off, especially with older or less expensive glasses. Finding them in multiple locations suggests someone is frequently losing them from their eyewear. Discovered while walking along a beach near Portincross Castle in Scotland, this intriguing object feels more like bone than wood. A significant feature is a piece of metal embedded near its top. Initial attempts to identify it using Google photo identification yielded varied and somewhat unconvincing results, including a Jewish musical instrument, a bone toothbrush handle, or a clothes peg, none of which seemed to quite fit the overall appearance and context. What could this weathered, bone-like artifact with a metal component be? Based on previous similar identifications on Reddit, this object is suggested to be the heavily weathered remains of a bone-handled knife that has spent a considerable amount of time in the sea. Historically, many knives, particularly utility knives, hunting knives, or eating utensils, were made with handles crafted from animal bone or antler. If such a knife were lost at sea or discarded on the coast, the wooden or metal blade would likely corrode and break down significantly over time due to the harsh marine environment, saltwater, abrasion from sand and waves. However, the denser bone-handled material might survive longer, albeit in a weathered and eroded state. The piece of metal embedded near the top could be the remnant of the tang, the part of the blade that extends into the handle, the bolster, or rivets that once secured the handle scales to the blade. Its discovery on a beach near a historic castle is consistent with finding aged, deteriorated artifacts. This black box is included with a giant shackle. What is the purpose of the electronic component integrated with this heavy-duty lifting gear? This is identified as a load pin shackle. A standard shackle is a U-shaped metal piece used for connecting and securing loads in rigging and lifting operations. A load pin shackle, however, has a specialized pin that incorporates a load cell. The black box contains the electronic equipment, strain gauges, signal conditioning, display, or transmitter connected to this load cell. This allows the shackle to not only connect a load, but also to accurately measure the tensile force or weight of the load being lifted or pulled. This data is crucial for safety, ensuring lifting equipment is not overloaded, and for verifying load weights in various industrial, maritime, and construction applications. This strange leather satchel was found in a Chinese antique shop cafe. It's a hard leather case with metal fasteners, a worn-away brand, and sections inside. What was this military-style satchel originally used for? This hard leather case is identified as a Swedish magazine pouch. Specifically, it appears to be a pouch for carrying magazines for the Carl Gustaf M45 submachine gun, which was the standard submachine gun of the Swedish Army from 1945 until the 1990s. These pouches were made of sturdy leather, had multiple compartments inside to separate the magazines, and featured distinctive metal or leather fasteners. They were a common piece of Swedish military surplus equipment for many years, and it's not unusual for such items to turn up in antique or collectible shops far from their country of origin. About 4 inches long, this tool has a faux wood handle and metal bristles bent like a rake. The bristles are somewhat flexible side to side. It was received in a box of small trinkets and gifts. What is this small rake-like tool? This small tool with rake-like metal bristles is a hairbrush cleaner. Its purpose is to remove the accumulated hair, dust, and product residue that gets trapped in the bristles of a hairbrush over time. The stiff yet flexible metal tines are raked through the bristles of the hairbrush from the base of the pad outwards, effectively lifting and pulling out the tangled mat of hair and debris. It's a simple but effective hygiene tool for keeping hairbrushes clean and functional. The example link confirms this identification. A friend found this in their apartment and was concerned due to recent issues with break-ins and stalking. Looking through the lens, one can see through the back. There may be a tiny SKU or item number on the black part. What is this small optical electronic component? This small object looks like a laser pointer diode, or more accurately, a laser diode module. This is the core component of a laser pointer. It consists of the laser diode itself, a small circuit board to regulate power, and a collimating lens to focus the light into a beam. These modules are very small and are used in a huge variety of products, not just laser pointers, but also in things like barcode scanners, CD/DVD players, and leveling tools. While its discovery is unsettling given the context, the component itself is common and could have fallen out of any number of broken electronic devices. If you love uncovering strange and mysterious objects, hit like and subscribe. Your support genuinely helps YouTube's algorithm find more curious explorers like you. Thank you for helping us grow. Stay curious. Acquired at a flea market in Copenhagen, Denmark, this 5cm cast brass accessory has a screw-on decorated design. A blade cuts through two 8mm holes. The body resembles intertwined twigs, suggesting it's decorative and not a worker's tool. The screw hole at the bottom implies it was mounted on a larger object. The finder is unsure, as it seems small for most cigars, and the two holes are puzzling. What is it? Despite the finder's doubts, this item is identified as an antique cigar cutter. Specifically, it's likely a type of V-cutter or a double-bladed cutter designed to be screwed onto a smoking stand, a humidor, or a tabletop accessory. The two holes might have been for cutting two small cigars or cheroots simultaneously, or perhaps it offered two size options or a different type of cut. The blade mechanism would be activated by a lever or button, not fully described. Its ornate, cast brass, intertwined twigs design is typical of decorative tabacchiana from the late 19th or early 20th century, a time when such accessories were common for gentlemen's smoking rooms. These small red plastic things were found with a box of spare thumbtacks. They do not clamp and have little flexibility. A small bit of hardened, cut-off string is attached to the top of each one. What are these small, rigid plastic clips? These small red plastic items are identified as vintage Christmas card holders. In the mid-20th century, a popular way to display Christmas cards was to string a line of ribbon or yarn across a wall or doorway. These small plastic clips, often shaped like stars, bells, or other festive motifs, were then used to hang the cards from the ribbon. The clip would slide onto the ribbon, using the main body of the clip, and the Christmas card would be slipped into a small slit or clasp on the front of the holder. The bit of hardened string might be a remnant of this original ribbon. Seen on the highway, this large metal cylinder is painted black, has what looks like fins on the inside, and an odd protrusion on the outside. It was larger than the Ford Ranger pickup truck it was being transported near. What is this massive piece of industrial machinery? This large cylinder with internal fins is identified as an asphalt drum mixer. This is a primary component of an asphalt plant, the facility that produces the hot mix asphalt used for paving roads. Inside the large rotating heated drum, various sizes of aggregate, crushed stone, sand, and gravel, are tumbled and heated to remove moisture. The internal fins or flights lift and cascade the aggregate through the hot gas stream to ensure uniform heating. Liquid asphalt binder is then injected and mixed with the hot, dry aggregate to create the final paving material. This is a huge, heavy piece of road construction machinery. This wooden box, seen at a local thrift store, contains various small plastic and metal pieces. The longest piece has a thin metal skewer in the center of its plastic end. A piece in a baggie is a softer, rubber-like U-shape. The finder is unsure if it's for coffee, drink making, smoking, or gardening. What is this collection of accessories? This wooden box contains a wine opener and aerator set. It's a common type of gift, set for wine enthusiasts. The various tools typically include a corkscrew, the piece with the metal skewer, likely a lever-style or waiter's friend opener, a foil cutter to remove the capsule from the top of the bottle, a wine collar or drip ring to catch drips, a wine pourer, which might incorporate an aerator to introduce air to the wine as it's poured, and a wine stopper, the softer, maybe rubber-like U shape, could be a type of stopper or part of one to preserve leftover wine. Dubbed the Holy Toad, this concrete object, painted a terracotta color, is the size of a human face and weighs 7 to 8 lbs. It has multiple holes varying from 1 to 2.5 inches deep. They seem too big for candlesticks and too small for tea lights. It was purchased at Ace Hardware, has May Rich stamped on it, and says it's handcrafted in China. What is this toad frog for? This concrete toad with multiple holes is identified as a planter, specifically one designed for planting individual succulents. These novelty planters, often shaped like frogs, tortoises, or other animals, are popular for creating small succulent arrangements. Each well or hole is intended to hold a small individual succulent plant with a bit of soil. The different sizes and depths of the holes allow for a variety of small succulent species to be planted, creating a textured and visually interesting living sculpture. Mayrich is a company known for producing garden decor and planters of this type. These spiky metal things are seen atop all the parking signs outside a business in northwest Arkansas. They don't seem decorative, and it's doubtful birds are nesting on the thin top edge of poles. What is their purpose? These spiky metal strips are a form of bird prevention or anti-perching device. Their purpose is to stop birds, particularly pigeons or larger birds, from landing and roosting on top of the signs. Birds perched on signs and poles can lead to an accumulation of corrosive and unsightly droppings on the sign itself, on the ground below, or on cars parked underneath. The commenter, who has installed them, confirms this, adding it stops them from shitting over it, and cuts down on windshield bombing. The spikes create a surface that is uncomfortable or impossible for birds to land on, encouraging them to find another spot to perch. This battery-looking thing was found inside a smoke alarm, but it measures no voltage. What is this component? This component, which resembles a battery but has no voltage, is identified as a carbon monoxide, CO, sensor. Many modern smoke detectors are combination units that also detect carbon monoxide, a colorless, odorless, and deadly gas produced by incomplete combustion. The CO sensor is a separate component within the smoke alarm unit that is specifically designed to detect the presence of carbon monoxide gas. It operates on a different principle than the smoke detection sensor, which is usually photoelectric or ionization-based, and has its own electrochemical cell that reacts to CO, but it does not produce a steady voltage like a power supply battery. This two-story structure is seen at Heathrow Terminal 2. It has a concrete base and appears to be related to HVACs, or perhaps a freight elevator shaft. What is this standalone structure? This structure is identified based on a planning application for Heathrow 62360 APP 2012-676, which outlines them as being for ventilation to a below-ground area. Large, complex facilities like airport terminals have extensive underground infrastructure, including baggage handling systems, service tunnels, utilities, and potentially mass transit links. These areas require substantial ventilation systems to supply fresh air and exhaust stale air, fumes, or heat. This two-story structure would be a ventilation shaft, housing the fans and ductwork necessary to serve these subterranean levels, with the height required to ensure the air intake and exhaust points are well above ground level. Found in an Airbnb kitchen, this aluminum object is about 6 inches long. The commenter suggests it has been modified. What was its original purpose? This item is identified as a modified set of charcoal clamps or tongs designed for a hookah, also known as a shisha or water pipe. Hookah smoking involves placing hot coals on top of a foil-covered bowl of flavored tobacco. These small metal tongs are used to safely handle and reposition the hot charcoal pieces during a smoking session. Many sets of hookah tongs also come with an attached poker, the stick thing, for poking holes in the foil. The commenter notes that this particular set looks like it has been bent or repurposed for some other task, but its origin is in the world of hookah accessories. While driving on the highway, the passenger window of a car suddenly shattered. After pulling over, this small, lightweight metal component was found on the floor next to the passenger seat. A coworker in the car didn't recognize it, leading to the suspicion that it might have been a projectile that caused the window to break. What is this metal part? This small metal component is identified as the end bracket of a coping saw. A coping saw is a small hand saw with a very thin blade held in tension by a C-shaped frame. It's used for making intricate curved cuts, coping, in wood, particularly for trim and molding work. This bracket would be one of the two pieces at the ends of the saw's frame that hold the blade in place. It's possible it was lying on the highway, was kicked up by another vehicle's tire, and struck the window with enough force to shatter it, as tempered side windows can break from a sharp impact from a small, hard object. Found in the garage rafters, this item looks like a micro air brake. When a long spring-loaded plunger is pushed in, it pushes air out of a nipple. It reminds the finder of a semi-truck air brake, but is much smaller. Part of it appeared to be painted red or orange, suggesting a possible tractor part. What is this small pneumatic or vacuum device? This device is identified as a vacuum actuator. Unlike an air brake, which is powered by positive pressure, a vacuum actuator is powered by vacuum, negative pressure, typically drawn from the engine's intake manifold in a gasoline-powered vehicle. The spring holds a diaphragm in a default position. When a vacuum is applied to one side of the diaphragm, via the nipple, it overcomes the spring pressure and moves the plunger or an attached rod. These actuators are used for a wide variety of functions in older vehicles, such as controlling HVAC air flaps, directing air to the vents, defroster, or floor, operating mechanisms on carburetors, like the choke, or advancing ignition timing in distributors. This light fixture on the ceiling has a peculiar design. It features a spool of wire wrapped around a heavy, presumably metal, ring inside. This component connects the house's power supply to the light bulb. What is this ring-shaped electrical component? This ring-shaped component with wire wrapped around it is a toroidal transformer, or possibly a toroidal inductor. A transformer is used to change the voltage of an AC electrical supply. In this light fixture, its most likely purpose is to step down the standard line voltage, e.g. 120 Vi in the US, or 235 Vs in Europe, to a lower voltage, e.g. 12 Vs, required by a low-voltage light bulb, such as a halogen or some types of LED bulbs. The toroidal, donut shape is a very efficient design for a transformer, offering low electromagnetic interference and a compact size. An inductor might be used as part of a ballast circuit for some types of lamps. Seen a few miles up a hiking trail in Southern California, this metal post is about 4 feet tall and filled with concrete. It has a metal arm embedded in the concrete so it can't pivot. The arm, which may have been bent over by vandals, has a circular strap at its end. What was this trailside structure? This is identified as the stump or remnant of a pipe bridge support stanchion. The upright piece is an old steel casing filled with concrete to create a rigid pedestal in the creek bank. The flat metal bar, the arm, would have originally stood nearly vertical. The circular strap at its end is a clamp designed to cradle and support a horizontal pipeline carrying water, oil, or a small utility as it crosses the creek. When the pipeline was eventually salvaged or abandoned, the pipe was cut free and the support strap was bent down, leaving the concrete-filled post to rust in place. It's a forgotten piece of old infrastructure from a long-removed pipeline. This small, 3-inch metal tool was found with a bunch of other 19th or early 20th century tools related to shoemaking and textiles. It has knobs that move small spikes or points. What is this precision mechanical tool? Despite being found with shoemaking and textile tools, this precision instrument is identified as a depthing tool used in watchmaking and clockmaking. A depthing tool is used to check and adjust the proper engagement, meshing, and distance between two gears, a wheel and a pinion, in a watch or clock movement. The two gears are mounted on the adjustable points, spikes, of the tool outside of the main clock plates. The knobs allow for microscopic adjustments, letting the watchmaker observe the gear interaction and ensure they run smoothly together with minimal friction before they are installed in the movement. It's a critical tool for precision horological work. A hollow white bag, roughly 3 feet wide with a tube or frame inside, reportedly fell out of the sky after an airplane flew overhead. What is this aerial object? This object is identified as a Chinese flying lantern or sky lantern. These are small hot air balloons made from a paper shell, the hollow white bag, and a bamboo or wire frame at the bottom, the tube inside. In the center of the frame is a small wax fuel cell or wick. When the fuel cell is lit, the flame heats the air inside the paper lantern, causing it to become less dense than the surrounding air. This lifts the lantern, and it floats up into the sky, glowing like a paper balloon. They are released for celebrations and festivals, but their connection to the airplane flying overhead was likely just a coincidence. This small, nail-like piece of metal hardware was removed from a customer's tire by a coworker. What is this specific type of object designed to be inserted into a tire? This object is not something that punctured the tire, but rather something used to repair it. It's a tire plug, specifically the type used in a tubeless tire repair kit. When a tire gets a puncture from a nail or screw, the object is removed, the hole is reamed out, and then one of these sticky, fibrous, rubber-impregnated plugs is inserted into the hole using a special tool. The plug seals the puncture from the inside out, allowing the tire to hold air again. The commenter identifies it as one of these bad boys, indicating its common use for roadside tire repairs. This wood and fabric object, about 16 inches long by 2 inches wide, opens about 3 inches via a metal hinge. About 30 of them were found at an old church auction. The fabric is stapled along the long edge in the middle. What are these identical hinged objects? This object is identified as a book holder designed to fit between 2 church chairs, and it also serves to lock the chairs together. In many churches, individual chairs are used instead of traditional pews, and they are often ganged or linked together in rows. This hinged wooden device would be placed between 2 adjacent chairs. The fabric-lined slot created when it's slightly open is for holding a hymnal, prayer book, or Bible. The way it attaches to the chairs also serves to connect them into a stable row, maintaining neat and orderly seating arrangements. Found blinking in a backyard, this black circular thing has a little red light. It's about the size of a gas tank cap, and the bottom part appears to have been pulled off or broken. It was found shoved under a fence. What is this electronic device? This is an anti-theft device, specifically a type of electronic article surveillance, EAS, tag, commonly used in retail stores. These tags are attached to merchandise, often with a wire loop or a pin. If an item with an active tag is carried through the security gates at the store's exit, it triggers an alarm. The wire seems to have been cut or ripped out, which is what thieves do to remove them. The blinking red light indicates it's still powered and active. It was likely stolen from a nearby store, the tag forcibly removed, and then discarded under the fence. This small plastic tube was spotted on the floor of the Glasgow subway. Its specific purpose is a fun puzzle for the group of friends who found it. What is this small, likely confectionery-related plastic item? This small plastic tube is identified as the container from a Haribo or Smarties ice cream cone treat. It's a type of novelty confection where a small plastic cone, often with a lid or top, is filled with small candies like Haribo gummies or Nestle Smarties. It's a simple pocket money type of sweet sold for children. The plastic cone mimics a real ice cream cone but holds candies instead. Once the sweets are eaten, the small plastic container is often discarded, which is likely how it ended up on the floor of the subway. Found on the free shelf in Sonoma, California, This 12-inch white molded plastic geometric container has a meticulous design that suggests it's for something specific. It's not a cake holder or a spool. What is this unusually shaped container? After a quick cheat with Google Lens, this mystery is solved. This geometrically designed molded plastic container is apparently a candy dish. Its intricate or unusual shape would be a decorative and stylish way to serve or display candies, nuts, or other small treats, especially in a modern or mid-century modern decor style. While its form might not be immediately obvious, its purpose is simple and social, to offer sweets to guests in an aesthetically pleasing way. A nice find from the free shelf. This wooden panel has holes lined with what appears to be a ceramic-type material. There are also faded outlines of things that used to be screwed to it. What is this vintage piece of electrical or communications hardware? This wooden panel is identified as a knob and tube board, which may have been part of an in-home telecommunications system or early electrical distribution. Knob and tube wiring was a common method of electrical wiring in North America from the 1880s to the 1930s. The ceramic knobs were used to support wires away from the wooden structure, while ceramic tubes were used to insulate wires passing through wooden joists or studs. This board would have been a central connection or distribution point for telephone lines, a doorbell system, or low-voltage electrical circuits, with the ceramic insulators ensuring proper separation and insulation of the wires. If you love uncovering strange and mysterious objects, hit like and subscribe. Your support genuinely helps YouTube's algorithm find more curious explorers like you. Thank you for helping us grow. Stay curious. This round, white disc, 9 inches in diameter, has a transparent lens and lots of reflective surfaces aiming down. It has Ethernet jacks, is suspended from a tall ceiling, and many are spaced about 20 feet apart. The finder wonders if it's a fire alarm strobe, but can't see an obvious light source. What is this ceiling-mounted device found in a retail environment? This is a device used in modern department or grocery stores to wirelessly update electronic shelf labels, ESLs. These labels use e-ink, the same technology as in e-readers, which only consumes power when the display is changed. This ceiling-mounted device acts as a transmitter or access point. It communicates with the labels, sending data to update prices, promotional information, or product details. This allows stores to implement dynamic pricing, changing prices across the entire store quickly and efficiently without manually replacing thousands of paper labels. The reflective surfaces and lens are part of the optical communication system, often using infrared light to send signals down to the labels on the shelves. These circular pucks, approximately 4 inches in diameter, are found mounted high on all 4 exterior walls and inside the garage of a home. Google Lens couldn't identify them. The one pictured has what looks like a closed hole for a wire. What are these exterior fixtures? These circular pucks are identified as electrical light boxes, specifically the type used for mounting exterior light fixtures such as sconces, floodlights, or motion sensor lights. They are installed during construction and wired back to the home's electrical panel. The closed hole is a knockout, a partially punched out section that can be easily removed to run the electrical wiring through to the light fixture that will be mounted on the box. Their presence indicates the house was pre-wired for extensive exterior lighting, and it would be relatively easy to add the actual light fixtures if desired. This unrecognized plastic part was found under the front rim of a toilet after a vigorous cleaning session, and it came off. It does not seem to be present on other toilets in the house. What is this clip-on toilet accessory? This plastic part is a perfume holder, or in-bowl toilet freshener / cleaner holder. These are common disposable products designed to be clipped over the rim of the toilet bowl. They typically contain a block of scented or cleaning chemical that slowly dissolves with each flush, releasing fragrance into the air and cleaning agents into the bowl. During a vigorous cleaning, it's easy to knock one of these holders off its perch on the rim, causing it to fall into the bowl or onto the floor. This 12-inch tall, cylindrical glass vessel, found in a kitchen, has an engraving along the bottom that says, "High Wave Patent Pending." It comes with a glass floating insert that has a rubber nubby thing. The owner's mom says she received it as a wedding gift in 1961 but never used it. It also has a small spout. What is this unusual glassware? This vessel is identified as an odd float wine preserve decanter made by the company Highwave. The mom's memory of receiving it in 1961 is likely mistaken, as Highwave has only been in existence since 1983. The device works by pouring leftover wine into the decanter. The glass float, with its silicone seal, the rubber nubby thing, is then carefully inserted. It floats on top of the wine, creating a barrier between the wine and the air, which significantly reduces oxidation and helps to preserve the wine's flavor for a few days. The spout allows for easy pouring directly from the decanter. It's an interesting, if somewhat niche, wine preservation gadget. This set of metal tools of various sizes, each with a corkscrew-like end, was found in a hydraulic engine pump house in Bristol, UK. Their specific shape suggests they are for extracting or removing something from a tight space. What are these specialized industrial tools? These tools are identified as gland packing removers or packing extractors. In many industrial pumps, valves, and steam engines, the rotating or moving shafts are sealed using a stuffing box. This box is filled with compressed rings of flexible packing material, often made of fibrous rope or similar materials, to prevent leakage. Over time, this packing wears out and needs to be replaced. Because it has been tightly compressed, it can be very difficult to remove. These corkscrew-tipped tools are specifically designed to be screwed into the old, compacted packing material, allowing the mechanic to get a firm grip and pull it out of the stuffing box. Included in a lot of vanity items, this small 5-inch ceramic open trough-shaped tray or dish has a floral design. What was this delicate trough-shaped dish used for on a desk or vanity? This small trough-shaped ceramic dish is a porcelain pen holder or pen rest, specifically for dip pens. Before the invention of fountain pens and ballpoint pens, people wrote using pens with metal nibs that had to be repeatedly dipped into an inkwell. A pen rest like this would be placed on a desk or writing slope. It provided a dedicated and clean place to lay the dip pen down between uses, preventing the wet, inky nib from rolling away and staining the desk, papers, or the writer's hands. Its presence among other vanity items is fitting for a lady's writing desk. Found in a charity shop, this heavy plated metal item is branded by the company Silver Seco Tinted. A spring in the center is a confusing feature. The finder guesses it might be a desk paper holder. What is this branded desktop accessory? The finder's guess is correct. This item is a letter holder or paper sorter. While Silver Seco is known for watches and typewriters, they, like many companies, may have also produced branded desktop accessories or corporate gifts. The spring mechanism in the center would likely provide tension to hold letters, notes, or other papers upright in an organized fashion, making it easy to sort and access mail or documents on a desk. Its heavy plated construction gives it a substantial feel, suitable for a quality desk item from that era. Found in the attic of a house known for hosting adult parties, this set of items is a puzzle. It includes 2 large wood-metal pieces that flex and bounce and 9 solid wood ovals. All pieces have screw holes. The finder wonders if it's a chair frame. What could this be? Despite the salacious backstory of the house, the identification is surprisingly wholesome. The commenter's husband, who has built a kayak from a kit, recognizes the wooden ovals. They look exactly like the temporary support pieces or forms that go inside the kayak during construction. In stitch and glue or skin-on-frame boat building, these temporary frames define the shape of the hull while the wooden panels or skin are being attached. The flexible wood metal pieces could be part of the strongback or jig upon which the kayak was built. After the boat's structure is complete, these internal forms are removed. This small, clear plastic and fabric circle contains electrical components, a battery, and a small push button. It was found during laundry, raising concerns about its origin and purpose, particularly whether it could be a GPS tracking device, though the push button is confusing. What is this small, self-contained electronic module? While its exact function can't be determined without seeing it, This is a very common type of small, battery-powered LED light module. They are frequently used in clothing, especially for children's shoes or jackets, accessories like light-up badges or keychains, or novelty items. The push button is used to activate the light, which might flash or light up steadily. The fabric circle could be part of how it was sewn into a garment. It's almost certainly not a GPS tracker, as those typically don't have user-operated push buttons and would have a different component layout. It was likely washed after being left in a pocket. This small orange object, about the size of a small solar lawn light, was found in the ground in Ratanj, Serbia. There were several of them dotted around a building. A strange rattling sound was heard every few minutes, which seemed to be coming from these devices. The finder theorizes it's a snake deterrent. What is it? This device is identified as an STV-645 mole repellent, or a very similar product. These are electronic pest repellers designed to drive away moles, gophers, and other burrowing rodents. The device is staked into the ground. At regular intervals, every minute or two, it emits a sound and/or a vibration into the surrounding soil. This is intended to mimic the presence of a predator and create an unpleasant environment for the digging critters, encouraging them to leave the area. They are often solar-powered or battery-operated. While the finder guessed snake deterrent, their primary target is moles and similar pests. Found on the Dwyrid estuary in North Wales at low tide, this nautical-themed cap-like object has been a mystery for 11 years. The commenter agrees with the idea that it's a cap, but not a screw-type cap. What could it be? The suggestion is that this object is the decorative top of a bottle cork. For many spirits, wines, or specialty liquids, especially those with a premium or nautical theme, the cork stopper is not just a simple piece of cork. It is often topped with a more substantial and decorative cap made of wood, metal, or ceramic. This cap provides a better grip for opening the bottle and adds to the product's aesthetic appeal. Over time, the cork part could rot away or break off, leaving only the more durable decorative cap, which is likely what was found washed up in the estuary. This elastic band with small bumps in multiple colors came from an Amazon package. What is this specific type of elastic accessory? This item is identified as a wig band or wig grip band. It's an adjustable headband, often made of a velvety or silicone-like material that is worn underneath a wig. Its purpose is to hold the wig securely in place and prevent it from slipping off the wearer's head throughout the day. The small bumps, or the texture of the material, provide friction against both the wearer's head hair and the inside of the wig cap, creating a stable base. It's a popular accessory for wig wearers, offering extra security and peace of mind. Found on a sandbar at a river, this aluminum object is lightweight, about 7 inches long, and slightly bent. What is this common piece of camping equipment? This is identified as the broken stem from a campfire coffee pot, specifically a percolator. A campfire percolator works by cycling hot water up through a hollow central stem. The water then sprays over a basket containing coffee grounds at the top and percolates back down through the grounds. This found aluminum tube would be the central stem. The commenter notes it's missing the basket piece that would sit on top of it. Its lightweight aluminum construction and discovery in a riverside camping environment are very consistent with this identification. This object has a semi-spherical red gem that can move up and down. The back has a spring-loaded attachment for electrical wires. It was found in a box of old electrical car parts and tools. The finder theorizes it could be a tester of some kind. What is it? This device is identified as an indicator light from a very old piece of technology. A small light bulb would go into the socket on the back. When the device receives a signal power, the bulb lights up, which in turn illuminates the red lens, the gem. This entire assembly would have been mounted on the control console or dashboard of an old car, piece of machinery, or electronic device to indicate a specific status, e.g., power on, oil pressure low, etc. The loose movement of the lens might just be due to its age and construction. What are these large wooden structures, seen in an image not provided here? The answer points to a very specific and large-scale construction application. These large wooden structures are identified as the wooden formwork for a draft tube of a power plant, likely a hydroelectric power plant. A draft tube is a specially shaped conduit or pipe that connects the turbine exit to the tail race, the water channel below the dam. Its purpose is to slow down the water exiting the turbine, which helps to recover kinetic energy and improve the overall efficiency of the turbine. These complex curved concrete structures are created by building an intricate wooden form or mold, like the one seen, and then pouring concrete into it. Once the concrete has set, the wooden formwork is removed. This axe head, bearing the True Temper name and logo, has one sharp side and 3 holes in the back. It's the size of a normal axe head and weighs 1 laub oz. What is this specialized type of axe for? This tool is a variant of the Swedish brush axe. Brush axes are designed for clearing brush, small trees, and undergrowth. They often feature a long, curved cutting edge for slicing through vegetation and a pole, the back side of the axe head, that is sometimes shaped as a hook or spike for pulling cut branches. This specific design by True Temper with the 3 holes is a variation on that theme. The holes might be for weight reduction or for attaching other components, but its primary function is as a robust tool for clearing land. This metal grate is in the floor of an upstairs room in an old house near the chimney. Underneath the grate is a round, wheel-like thing. The grate is clearly to let hot air come up, but the wheel is a mystery. What is it? This is an old register grate from a time when the house was heated by a central fire or furnace, with hot air ducted to various rooms. The wheel-like thing underneath is what's left of a damper, a mechanism used to control the airflow. The damper, likely a plate or a set of louvers connected to the wheel, could be adjusted, originally probably with a lever or key that is now missing, to open or close the vent, allowing the occupant of the room to regulate the amount of hot air entering the space. It was the low-tech thermostat of its day. This rectangular piece of metal weighs a few pounds. The front says Ray, and the back has F376 and 1. It was found in an old barn with nails and electrical stuff from maybe the 70s. The auction was for a woodworker's estate, but included miscellaneous items. What is it? This heavy-shaped metal block is identified as a swage block, a tool used by blacksmiths. A swage block is a large, heavy block of cast iron or steel, typically with various grooves, channels, and shaped depressions on its sides and faces. Blacksmiths use it as an anvil or form for shaping hot metal. They can place a piece of hot iron over one of the depressions and use a hammer to form it into a specific shape, such as a curve, a collar, or a dome. It's a versatile tool for a blacksmith's workshop. These are silver serving utensils, 6 inches long, with a heart-shaped scoop that has a heart-shaped hole pattern. What are these specific, ornate utensils used for? A reverse image search identifies this utensil precisely. It is a Spartan by Baker Manchester sterling silver nut spoon. Nut spoons were a common piece of Victorian and early 20th century silver flatware. They were designed for serving nuts, such as almonds or pecans, from a central serving bowl. The perforated or pierced design of the scoop, in this case in a decorative heart pattern, was not strictly necessary for nuts, but was a common stylistic feature on many types of serving spoons, adding to their elegance and craftsmanship. Spartan is the pattern name, and Baker Manchester was the silver company that produced it. What was the weirdest object for you? Let me know in the comments and share this to test your friends. If you love uncovering these mysteries, hit like and subscribe. Your support helps us find more curious explorers like you. Stay curious.